Okay, yeah. So this is I just kept the name Dark Seduction of Technology because we are in the age of tech. That's what we are surrounded by gadgets. Not even surrounded. Sometimes gadgets are implanted within our bodies. That's happening, and that's going to happen if it's not happening. But the idea is, next slide. The idea is, if you can look through it, but anyway, we last 300 years have been, let's say, the age of, we have been advancing, at least from a perspective of machines. And we have the scientific revolution, the age of enlightenment, isn't it 300 years back? And then came the age of machines, the machine revolution. And the machines were largely mechanistic to begin with. There were gears, there were pulleys, and there were levers. And then slowly we entered industrial revolution. And then there were industries, that is engines, cars, basically, all those things. And then we entered digital revolution, where we have our computers, smartphones, information. And that's what we are presently here. And it seems we are advancing. I mean to say, we have made rockets which can go to different planets. Even this Elon Musk, he's planning to make communities on Mars, isn't it? And people are booking their houses there. Am I right or not? It's pretty far out, but that's happening. So, next slide. And not only that, we have come up with pretty good technology, driverless cars, isn't it? Google. Have you been to Google sometimes? Anyone of you? No? Okay, fine. America, if you go. Silicon Valley. So I've been there last year, and we sat in one of this car and just sleep, and after some time you're on your destination. So that's what we are here. Technology is pretty far out, and people are really enamored by this technology. Who will not be? If you have a car which you're only driver, and by the way, AI, artificial intelligence, that's coming up in a big way. Japan is producing robots every day which can do so many things. In fact, this so you know about this Sophia and all this. Like she's talking, she is even suggesting things, and then you have robots which can do your household work. You can have a wife, a robotic wife, and it's pretty cool, isn't it? It looks cool. Huh? She uses.
It's a terrible joke.
So anyway, the thing is, technology is going far out. But having said all these things, technology has absorbed us and our consciousness, especially the smartphones. They are pretty smart, and we are fully absorbed in technology and gadgets. So much so that now it is doing us harm. Now we are not using technology, but we are probably abusing it. That's what is happening. And what is happening is, in these glamour and in these gadgets and hi-fi science, we have forgotten something very fundamental to our lives. And what is that? Next slide. What is that? That is called as machine culture, by the way. There's a sociologist, if you have heard his name, Friedrich Hayek. I don't know if you have heard his name or not. Who is a sociologist here? Okay, yeah. Have you heard? You're in first year? Second year?
I haven't heard of him.
Oh, yeah. You're in first year?
Second year.
Okay. Probably you'll hear about him.
Friedrich who? Sorry?
Friedrich Hayek. I'll talk about him, but you will hear about him. You, definitely, before you pass out, you will hear about him. You can't pass sociology without hearing about him.
Was he someone who worked on a very large? Did he end up killing his wife?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that history. But I'll talk about him. But he introduced this term. He was a Nobel Prize winner. He's one of the main person in sociology. He's a founder of sociology. And he said that we are entering a machine culture. And what machine culture means is, machines are not bad. Technology is not bad. But he said that the idea is, machine culture is, we are so much absorbed into machines that we have forgotten what's a human. That's what is happening. We are decontacted at present time from nature, from each other, and maybe from our own self. And that's what is happening. And what I mean by that is, social media. We are decontacted from each other through a wall of social media. Am I right? If you want to talk to somebody, you don't talk directly. You use WhatsApp. You use WhatsApp here, UK? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Or maybe Snapshot. I don't know. What's that? It's called Snapshot or what? Snapchat. What's that? Snap?
Snapchat.
Oh, Snapchat. Yeah, somebody told me like that. There is a wall between you and me of a technology. So we want to talk, okay, WhatsApp or Snapchat, or we want to see each other, Facebook. And it has come to this point that if I want to talk to you and you're sitting there and I'm sitting here, I'll give you a message through WhatsApp. I'll not get up, go to you and talk. It's not happening like that. So the idea is, there is a wall all around us. We are getting far, far away from each other, although we are all together. And that's why we have so much relationship problems, isn't it? That's what is happening. Any two person are very comfortable talking on phone and WhatsApp, but when you have to talk face to face, people don't know how to do that. People don't know how to make friends, and that is why no relationships nowadays. Am I right? It's making some sense to you all? So many problems all around the world. People are stressed. People don't know how to continue living with each other. People are becoming lonely. And that's where people are becoming stressed and frustrated. So that is how we have a wall around us. So we are decontacted with people. We are also decontacted with nature. Now this everybody knows all these things. But you know what is happening is, the problem is, okay, let me ask you, what's the last time you saw the sky? What was that? It's a pretty straightforward question.
20 minutes ago.
20 minutes ago? Really, you saw the sky?
I was staring at it.
Okay, good. That's very nice. But you know what? Many people don't see even the sky. Not at all. There's buildings. You're in a house, you're in a car, you're in a building. Then you're out of the house, car, and building. That's how it goes. We are very far away from nature nowadays. And this is what is happening is, we are absorbed in entertainment. Isn't it? Apps, entertainment, and games. And we don't go out. Like previously, when I was a kid, we used to go out, play games, outside games, badminton or something like that. But nowadays, people are hooked on this machine. And we are far, far away from nature. And you know what? Recently, Apple, I was in America, and Apple launched that one app of which actually measures your heartbeat. And there's an app, which counts your steps.
Yeah.
You know that, no? And then you jog, and then you count your steps, and then you can fix a count, and then you can see, okay, I jogged for this many steps and this many steps. Now, you don't need that, frankly, because you don't need a machine to tell you how much you have to run, because God has given you a gift. You know what's that? You know what's that gift? That gift is your own feelings. By feelings you can tell how much you have to run. Simple. If you become tired, stop. Isn't it simple? You don't have to see a machine. If you become tired, stop. If you're feeling fresh after exercise, good. Simple.
There's another technology that's come out to bypass the wrist. Is a electrical tea stirrer you can plug into the wall.
So?
Stir your tea for you. Just to
Oh really?
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. You can buy it from like a.
Oh really?
Yeah. Stir your tea for
It's
you.
my Christmas present, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you see the point. We are going far and far away from nature. If you want to be healthy, the best way to become healthy, so in fact I'm a doctor, that's why I'm telling you. The best way to remain healthy is fresh air. Frank, literally I'm telling you. Fresh air in morning. That's all. Simple secret, isn't it? It's not a secret at all. You don't need multivitamins, proteins and this and that. This is all product of technology. But you don't need that because God has His own technology. That's nature. And the more we are in touch with nature, the more we are in actually touch with God, and we are more healthy. You see the point? This is all actually wasting our time. Entertainment, games have no value in our life, no deep thought. So we have disconnected with nature, but the most important thing what technology is doing is we have forgotten ourselves in the process, and that's is who am I? That is the dark side of technology. The dark side of technology is we have forgotten the most important person in our life, that is we, ourselves. And what I mean by that is we have forgotten who a human is, and we have forgotten to act like a human. And what I mean by that is if you say about human, 𝗪𝗪 𝗪𝗪𝗪, he's a scientist in MIT. By the way, he's still there. And he wrote a book, What Computers Cannot Do. And basically in this book he wrote what we are talking about, how technology has made us forget our own self. Isn't it a serious issue if you've forgotten yourself? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a pretty serious issue. You've forgotten yourself. Come on. If I ask you what's your name and you say, I don't know. But you say, oh, yeah, but I'm happy, but I don't know who am I. Now what should I understand if you say that? It's a pretty messy situation. So, 𝗪𝗪 𝗪𝗪𝗪, he is a computer scientist. And you know what? He actually came up with this question, who are we? You know why? Because technology is forcing us to ask this question at this point of time, especially AI. And there's a book, What Technology Wants, by Kevin Kelly. If you want to read that, please read that. It's a very nice book. Technology wants you. Technology wants you to be her prisoner. And she's a queen. And she doesn't want you to act who you are. And he said, he made a point, next slide, he made a point, machines versus man. He said there's a difference between technology, machines, and data, and man. And the basic difference is humans think, feel, and will, which machines cannot do. Thinking, feeling, and willing. And this is, by the way, his understanding, but that is also understanding of our scriptures. Bhagavad Gita talks about that. When we define human, we don't define human as a rational animal, as Aristotle said. Isn't Aristotle said that? Philosophy?
Yeah.
Rational, we are all rational. Anyway, he still kept the term animal. But it's a rational animal, but we are not just rational animals. Human thinks, feel, and will. This is what we are, in a sense. That is what is consciousness all about. We talk about consciousness, isn't it? Consciousness, the function, consciousness is marked by these three things: thinking, feeling, and willing. And by the way, if you talk about thinking, next slide. Well, you know what? AI people, they are claiming that their machines can think. You know that?
Never gonna happen.
Deep Blue?
Sorry, just a quick question. The word consciousness, as you're defining it, I feel like there's more aspects to it than thinking, feeling. So you've got memory, imagination.
Yeah, all these are aspects, all these categories of consciousness, you can fit into these three broad categories.
Do you define consciousness within oneself or a greater consciousness?
No. This is our consciousness. That's all, self-consciousness. Yeah. So, but you know what? AI people are actually saying your computers can think. That's what is happening. Deep Blue chess program. You know that, no? Deep Blue, there was a chess program, and this Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov. You know that? In 1990s, there was a chess championship. Garry Kasparov and Deep Blue defeated. Now you have many AI programs. You have something called as Watson. I'm a doctor, and that program can actually diagnose a disease. You don't need a doctor now. If you have symptoms, you put in that program and it'll tell you possible diagnosis. So they think machines think, but actually no machine can think. Why? Because that's very unique to human. And the idea is the machines can do critical thinking, in the sense machines can calculate, but machines cannot create ideas. And that's the whole point. Machines have power, but humans have ideas. Now we are talking about thinking aspect. Einstein came up with the idea of what?
Theory of relativity.
Okay, theory of relativity. Machines cannot do that. Machines cannot think. Space and time can bend. Darwin came up with the idea of evolution. That was the idea. Newton came up with the idea of gravity. Do you think machines can come up with these kind of lofty ideas? It can randomize, it can come up with some possibilities, juggling, but not ideas. And that's the whole point. Humans think. It means humans have ideas. And that's why one of the computer scientists, he said, man is dull and slow but a brilliant thinker. Machines have speed and accuracy but are stupid. It makes sense, a lot of sense. Now, you might not have seen this photograph, but you know who is he? Yeah, everybody knows this, isn't it? Albert Einstein, famous person. And who is he? He's 𝗪𝗏 𝗪𝗏. That's from Wikipedia. He was a friend. Actually, he was equally genius like Einstein. He was a very genius person, but he was very shy, so he didn't come in public. But he wrote this book on formally undecidable propositions of Principia Mathematica and related systems. No problem if you don't understand anything about it. It's pretty crazy stuff. But the idea is, why I put this slide is because he proved that machines cannot think. Simple. Scientifically. Even in future. Now science can say, okay, our technology, we can make a technology, our robots or AI such that they can think, but you cannot. Science has proved no. That's all. I'm not going into details, but his mathematics proves that. He's a mathematician. So that project is full stop, period. Thinking is unique to humans. There are debates around Gödel. It's very difficult to go around him. He has put a full stop there. Just like, you know this, you're a philosopher. You know Bertrand Russell?
Sorry?
Bertrand Russell?
Yeah.
You know Russell?
Yeah.
He was a big philosopher. Yeah, big philosopher. And Northfield Whitehead? He was a Brit. Northfield Whitehead. He was a big mathematician. And they together started a project to prove 1 + 1 is 2. You know this? And in the book, they actually managed to write to prove 1 plus 1 2, they wrote 100 pages, around 100 pages, and then they got a solution, 1 plus 1 2. And this guy comes and he says, your project is a failure, because if you prove 1 plus 1 is 2, then you have something else which is unprovable, and then you go to prove that, then you have something else which is unprovable. You have some things which you have to accept by faith. You got the point? Faith means idea. Faith means idea. An idea. And that's what Gödel said. You need an idea. That's all. That humans can do. Your technology cannot do. So the point I am trying to prove to you is, humans can think, and that is very unique to us. You see the point? So the point I am trying to make is, if you want to be human, you have to refine your thinking, not refine your machines, because that is unique. That is a gift to you by God, which cannot be put in machines. That's the whole point I am trying to bring. Thinking, refine your thinking. How to do that, I'll just tell you. And the next is feelings. Now, yeah, you know all these things. You know, I don't use this, but you know all these things. But can your machines feel? Yes or no? No. Yeah, no. Of course. No. Yeah, next slide. Of course, I mean to say. Yeah, next. This is Donald Knuth, a famous computer scientist. He said, AI has not succeeded by doing essentially everything that requires thinking, but has failed to do most of what people and animals do without thinking. You feel. Feeling is without thinking. And that your machines cannot do. This is, if you want to read this book, 𝗪𝗲𝗪, very famous and very nice book. If you can get hold, it's free on net. And Stephen Baker, he says, one purpose of smart machines is to free us up to do thousands and one thing humans enjoy, from singing to swimming and falling in love. This is all feelings, isn't it? Can your smartphone fall in love with Apple? Come on. Or can your Apple propose to Dell? Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, next slide. You can't have a happiness algorithm. You can't do that. You can't even think how to do that. How to make an algorithm which will make your machine happy. You can't even start that algorithm, because you don't have any quantification numbers. There's no beta, alpha, theta for happiness. You don't know how to do it, because feelings is unique to humans. You see, again and again I'm coming to this point. Feelings is unique to humans. So if you want to be human, you have to refine your feelings. Work on your feelings and not on machines. Not on machines. Machines can be there. Refine your thinking, refine your feelings. How to do that, I'll just tell you. But the whole point I'm bringing is thinking, feeling, and the last is willing. Willing means what? Do you know willing? Willing means what? Choice. There's a choice. We can choose to live our own lives by what we think, or we can choose to live how God thinks.
There's a great line of poetry from John Milton's Paradise Lost.
What's that?
And it says, it's talking about Satan, and Satan's romanticized in it, the devil. And it said, to take hard liberty rather than the yoke of servile pomp.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I read that. Paradise Lost. It's beautiful, actually.
I'm reading it again now.
Okay. Oh, you are English literature or what?
No, I don't study.
Okay. Okay, you study that. Okay, so here's the point. Willing. Can machines choose? Well, machines can randomize. You can mimic a machine to appear as choosing something, but frankly, it doesn't have any intentions. Now here's the point. This person, Douglas Hofstede, and this book, Gödel, Esther, and Bach. This is one of the most famous books. If you are doing a course on mathematics, you can't pass a course on mathematics without reading this book, without knowing him. And he said, one thing a chess program cannot do, if you ask a program in the middle of the game, do you want to continue to play chess? It cannot say, I'm bored of chess, let's talk about something else. It cannot decide cannot intend. I can ask this person to go and get up and go and touch that window and come back. Okay? So this is the input. And you are halfway in the room and you can decide, what the hell, why this guy is asking me to do that? And I don't do that. But if I program a computer, it cannot do that. It will just go, touch, and come back. Except if I put in the program, in the half you should decide, but you're deciding on your own. That's willing. That is unique to humans. So we should focus on refining our will. And we should focus on uniting our will with God. Have you heard? That's religion? Of course, religion. That is religion. Religion in one line is you unite your will with the will of God. Any religion, that's a very universal definition of religion. Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Zen, Tao, Kabbalah, Sufism, whatever you talk. That's one line. Define any religion. Everybody will accept that. Unite your will with the will of God. So, to refine your willing. Yeah. A friend, Frederick, he's there. He's there, just from Wikipedia. He wrote this book, The Counter-Evolution of Science. It's a beautiful book. Please read this book. And you see the subheading, Studies on the Abuse of Reason. It's a beautiful book. And he said, you don't have to read all these things. Basically, he said, you cannot make any computer program which can predict how a society, what a society will do the next moment. You cannot do that. It's impossible. Even if you have two people, and if you understand everything about that person, everything about this person, feed that in the computer, and then make an algorithm to predict what these two people are going to do next second, you can't have that. That's impossible, because you cannot predict human action. Why? Because humans have free will. They choose. And algorithms don't have this choice. It runs on tick, 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 tick. You see the point there? So, he proved scientifically that free will is unique to humans. It cannot be put into any machine. It cannot be programmed. Now, what we got now? Human is a human. He used the term human factor. There's a human factor in all of us. That is thinking, feeling, and willing. And as a human, what we are supposed to do? We are not supposed to come up with Apple iPhone 10 or 11 or 12 or 13. That you can do. But in the process, don't forget yourself. Don't forget to refine your thinking, feeling, and willing. That's a human. That is human life. That is civilization, by the way. Advancement of civilization depends on how much that civilization is refined in their thinking, feeling, and willing. Am I right? Any civilization. And it is proved, any civilization which doesn't focus on these three things and focusing largely on external objects and technology and glamour, it will be finished in 300 years. It is proved by Needham. You know Needham? Chinese historian. He did a big research. And he said just 300 years it will take to finish a civilization if it doesn't focus on this. Roman civilization, Greek civilization, all of them broke because they started engaging themselves in sensuality. That's what happened, no? Romans, after some time, they forgot and they...
You kind of almost equating that if a society doesn't refine these things, it almost becomes mechanistic.
Yeah, you're right. It becomes mechanistic, and then there's decadence, there's destruction. Finish. And by the way, how many years our civilization has gone now? 300 years. Newton, 17th century. 18, now we are on the apex of destruction now. If we don't do something now, and it is up to you all. That's why I go to universities to talk all these things. I don't go outside. You are the next generation, and you have to take a decision what to do. And you might say, okay, we are very few, what we'll do. But anyway, every drop, you know that? Each drop makes an ocean. Every drop counts. And we can make a difference if we can refine our thinking, feeling and willing. But how to refine them? That's another question. What should we do? What should we do is, we should focus on them. First of all, stop focusing on calculation, speed and machines. Don't be enamored by all these things. Be enamored by yourself.
Logic.
Yeah. What's the most unique thing? You. Not that dull, this smartphone. This is not smart, by the way. No. Don't do that. And pass this message to people. Yes. So how to do this? Now, next. Thinking can be refined by philosophy. Everybody needs some. She's doing a philosophy course, by the way. But yeah, I mean, philosophy is not. You don't really have to do a course, but philosophy is. Sophie means what? You know this? Sophie means. Yeah. Sophie means knowledge. Philo means love. Love of knowledge. Socrates. Philosophy. We need some kind of deep ideas in our life. That's what I was talking. Thinking ideas. We need some fundamental ideas in our life which can guide our life. We can refine our feelings by spirituality. That's what you are doing here. We are doing meditation. We are chanting names of God. What we are doing? We are trying to refine our feelings. We are trying to focus our feelings, control our feelings, and direct to higher realm. That is God. A spiritual dimension, isn't it? That's what we are doing here. Refine our feelings. And we are trying to refine our will. Willing can be refined by culture. To give an example, how philosophy refines your thoughts, your thinking is, you see, philosophy is all about cause and effect. Isn't it? Everything has an effect and every effect has a cause. Philosophy helps you to think what's the cause of what you are doing. Am I right? But machines don't allow you to think. Machines will make you do something without you knowing that you're doing that. And without thinking why you're doing that. Am I right? That's what machines are.
So we're already machines.
How?
Are we already machines?
Yeah, so then we are already machines. That's how it goes. We are moving by reflexes, not by thought.
Much of, for me anyway, it seemed like much of primary and secondary education was you were taught pockets of isolated information as if there was no cause or effect. I was maybe a very bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We're kind of trained to become mechanistic by the time we
left. Modern education is like that. Information. The whole problem in this age is information overload. It's not ignorance. By the way, for your information, I was reading Vedas. So you know Vedas, by the way, like our ancient text. And one of the Vedas, one of the Upanishads, one of the Vedas, one of the Puranas, it says a story there that Satan, you might understand Satan, yeah. So Kali, so he goes to God and he asks him, well, I want to destroy humanity. Satan's job is to destroy humanity. So God said, okay, fine. What is your proposal? He says, my proposal is I will hide all knowledge and make people totally ignorant, make them barbarians. God said no. God said just do the reverse. Give them all knowledge and they will not be able to handle it and they'll destroy themselves. That was his plan. Overload them with information and they'll become so bewildered and confused and they'll harm each other. Practically, that's Google. You know everything, but still you know nothing. Am I right? You know so many things, but you know nothing. Nothing. So philosophy helps you to understand why of what you are doing. That's beautiful, why I should do this thing. If you always ask why you are doing what you are doing, then many of the things you will find are irrelevant in your life. Am I right? You will understand how it goes. Many things are relevant. And then you can choose relevant things and make your life worthwhile living. And then that will give you satisfaction. And that's why people are frustrated, because they are doing so many things which are irrelevant. And you feel frustrated. That's philosophy. Philosophy trains you how to think, refines your thinking. Spirituality refines your feelings. Well, I put this picture because it invokes feelings, isn't it? Spirituality, you see, spirituality helps to refine your feelings so that you can appreciate, let's say, beauty, perfection, purity, and the most beautiful, the most perfect, and the most pure person is God. That's how God is defined. The most perfect, the most pure, the most beautiful. And that is why all spiritualists, their whole game, their whole goal is to connect with God, because they can appreciate through feelings this perfection. Am I right or not? That's spirituality all about, in a very broad sense. So that's spirituality. That's what you're doing here. You're doing here. And the third thing is willing. Willing is refined by culture. Culture trains you what is right and what is wrong. Everything is not right. Am I right?
I think it comes from intuition.
Or wrong?
I don't think you need culture to tell you what's wrong or right. I think it's intuition.
It is also intuition, I agree. It is also intuition. But a terrorist might think, my intuition says, wipe out whole humanity. And that's good. Thor, Avengers? Yeah, if you wipe out humanity, this will be great for this whole universe. His intuition says that. So intuition says that, but then whether our intuition is right or wrong, that's the whole point. That culture trains us. You need a parameter to judge, otherwise you can go like that. So that's the whole point of culture. So you see, this is how we train our thinking. That's a human civilization: spirituality, philosophy, and culture. And all these three things are there in Bhagavad Gita. That is this book all about. That is why Bhagavad Gita is talking about a human, how to be a human. And it is focusing on those aspects of humanity which are unique to all of us and which we should do. And you see, how many of you know Bhagavad Gita, by the way? You all know. Okay, fine. Good. So please go and read Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita is talking about culture, which will help you to refine your will. The second 6 chapters, 7 to 12, they're talking about spirituality, which will refine your feelings. And the last 6 chapters, 13 to 18, they're talking about philosophy, which will refine your thinking. And then you will become a real human. Then you can contribute to human civilization and bring it back. And that is all up to you. Just up to you. And nobody else. Nobody's coming from the sky, We are there. We are some bunch of people in this room. But we can make a difference. That's all. So, you know him, isn't it? It's coming from him, by the way. Bhagavad is spoken by him, and he's God, and he has told us all these things. And if we follow his advice, and it makes sense, his advice, our lives will be perfect, and we will be satisfied. Wherever there's satisfaction, there's happiness. Wherever there's happiness, there's peace. And if we have this, then we can give it to others. If we don't have this, we can't give it to others. It's impossible. No matter how much system or technique we apply, it is not going to happen. So the whole aim of the seminar is to help you to understand what is a human, which is very different from technology. Don't focus on those dead objects. Focus on life. And life is characterized by thinking, feeling, and willing. My request is, you chant this mantra, that's great. And read Bhagavad Gita. We have that. We have so many books here. Take this book, take Bhagavad Gita, read it. If you don't understand, discuss. Bhagavad Gita is not a sectarian book. It has nothing to do with Hinduism or your religion. Nothing to do with that. That's a popular propaganda or a notorious propaganda, let's say like that. Bhagavad Gita is to do with life. That's how tradition reads it. Tradition doesn't read it as Hinduism, no. It's a manual of life which will make you a refined person, a dignified and an elite person. Not a person which is flowing with the society and pulled and pushed by reflexes like pulleys and levers, like machine, then you don't benefit yourself, you don't benefit anybody. And one day it's over. Am I right? One day it's going to be over. So before that, we have to do something. And this book will help you. Please read it and come in this program, and thank you very much for listening to the talk. Hare Krishna.